Shout out to all my broke students. I was you once, but over the years, we've tried and tested many methods with mixed results. Here is the video I wish I watched when I was a broke student. I'm giving you 5 ways we actually made money while we were studying. No courses, no experience needed, just real ways to get paid starting tomorrow. All right, so straight into it. Number 1, flipping. Flipping is what I did straight after uni, and I kind of wish I did it while I was still at university. Now, if you don't know what flipping is, it's buying low and selling high on items that are commonly sold. And this could be anything. This could be clothes, books, PC parts, really anything where there's demand. Now, ideally, this should be something that you know a little bit about, because that's where all the advantage is, where you know more about the product than someone else who's either selling it or buying it. And that's how you find value in the market. I mean, I had one friend who started flipping Pokemon cards while they were studying. He started buying them on Facebook Marketplace, getting them graded, and then listing them on his eBay. Now he runs a full-time business. Personally, I used to flip PC parts. I'd find them cheap on Facebook Marketplace, maybe after New Year's or Christmas Day. I'd clean up the parts a bit, and then I'd list them for 2, sometimes 3 times the price. This can be a great income stream if you have interest in a niche subject, and you can literally start straight after this video. So let's rank them. In terms of ease, I would say moderate, because it takes time to hunt for good deals and message sellers. But once you know your niche, it gets way easier, and the money's pretty fast too. Also, remember, once you've mastered flipping in one niche, you can always move to flip in other niches. So if you flipped in PC parts, but you think there's more value in mobile phone flipping, just move over to mobile phones. You have the skills now. In terms of pay, it's variable. If you pick the right niche and you stick with it, pay can be great, especially as you learn more and more about that niche. But if you pick up a dead niche that everyone's doing or there isn't much demand, not so much. Flexibility, I would put this as very high, because you're the one who's buying and selling. You're essentially your own boss. And scalability, very high. If you find a high demand niche, you can really scale this into a legitimate business. All right, so on to number 2, and that is tutoring. Tutoring is probably the most guaranteed way for a student to make money. And I know it sounds a bit boring, but hear me out. If you've passed any subject at any level of education, someone's parents will pay you to teach their child. This could be anything. History, maths, a language. My sister did this while she was doing her master at Imperials. So she was tutoring international students who tend to have a little bit more money, and she actually tutored 3 of them at the same time, making £150 an hour, all of them sitting in one room. Best way to start? Well, you probably know someone who needs tutoring at the moment, so just message in your family group chats or your friends group chats and say something like this. Hey, I'm offering insert subject tutoring for X amount per hour, online or in person. Now, online is actually better because you can go from session to session without even having to leave your room, and it makes it really easy to tutor multiple people at once. But let's say you want to start sooner, let's say even tomorrow. Well, there are actually online platforms that will find you clients right now. 3 of the most common ones are Preply, Superprof, and Cambly. While they don't pay as well as finding your own clients, they do offer instant access to clients today. That's pretty good. So let's rank tutoring. Well, when it comes to ease, I'd say moderate. It does require some work like prepping material. Pay, I would actually say, is good, especially if you teach people that you know, as they'll often tip or overpay you. And also, as you start to develop a good reputation, you can start to charge more. Flexibility, I would say, is very good. You choose your own schedule. Scalability, I would say moderate. Like, you can turn this into a business, but unless you're really passionate, what's the point? Okay, number 3. Freelancing. Freelancing is basically selling a skill that you already know how to do. This could be things like fixing people's PCs, creative writing, photography. Personally, while I was at university, I was very deep in a game called RuneScape, and I got pretty good at the game, so I was able to sell the in-game currency that I made for, in real life money. And I made thousands of pounds doing that. It's about utilizing a skill that you already have, but people might need. Start by choosing a skill that you have. The more rare the skill is, the better. Then offer it to people around you, people that you already know in the spaces that enjoy that kind of thing. Your first client is probably a family member or a friend, and if you do a good job, they'll refer you on to other people, and so on. So let's rank it. In terms of ease, I'd say moderate. You need to find your first clients and actually do the job well, but you're likely to learn very quickly from there on out. Pay is variable, but generally good. It all depends on the demand for the skill that you have or are offering. The more unique the skill that you have and the more demand there is, the more you'll get paid. Flexibility, very, very good. Only pick up jobs within your own schedule, and if you're quite time sensitive and people really want your skill, you can just charge more. Scalability, very good. The more of a name that you build for yourself, the faster you can grow. Finding the first client is the hardest, but as long as you do a good job, the work flows. Number 4, gig jobs or micro jobs. Gig work is basically working through a company, but working whenever you want. Many people end up working these kind of jobs full time, like through Uber or food delivery. But this doesn't stop you from joining while you're a student. Got a bike? Deliveroo or Uber Eats. Don't mind building furniture? Offer to build IKEA stuff on places like TaskRabbit or Facebook Marketplace. Do you enjoy music? Well, you can be a helper at a festival or a music event. These are usually super casual. No CV, no reference needed. Just show up, do a good job, get paid, and leave. They can be one-off jobs or they can be recurring jobs. Just depends on the specifics. So let's rank it very quickly. Ease, I'd say varies. It can be hard if you're doing things like Uber Eats or Deliveroo, or it could be moderate or easy if it's a good gig. Pay, very bad, usually minimum wage. But I guess if you have no money, minimum wage is looking great right now. Flexibility, I'd say very good. You decide when you want to work. While you will be working through a company, there's no fixed hours. Scalability, poor. You'll generally stay around minimum wage for the entire time that you're working this kind of work. All right, on to number 5, part-time jobs. This is the old classic, but don't sleep on it, especially if you're at university. Most unis have part-time jobs scheduled around uni times. Think student union work, working in the student shop, library shifts, or showing new starters around campus. While I was at university, I know loads of people who did this kind of work. They'd walk new students around, show them the building, point at a map, easy, relaxed work. I mean, within this, there are other jobs like working in cafes and working in retail, but generally I find that these are a bit more strenuous and a bit harder to get. They're also classically less flexible. Ease, I would say moderate. Pay, generally low. You're likely working for minimum wage. Flexibility, I'd say moderate to good. It varies depending on the job, but if you have one of those student jobs, they are going to understand the struggles that students go through with exams and holidays. Scalability is going to be poor. Now that we've talked about the 5 different ways that you can make money while studying, I'll tell you which ones I think are the best and which ones I wouldn't recommend. Now, if you have access to a car and a little bit of money, I would actually suggest flipping. This is because having access to transport gives you access to some of the best deals in remote locations. Also, I think this is the job that scales the best and probably pays considerably better than minimum wage once you've built up some skills. The other one I really recommend is tutoring. It's not going to make lots of money and it's going to take a little while for you to get used to it, but this one has guaranteed income and referrals are a big deal. Now, if you have a really unique skill that's in demand, freelancing is probably going to be the best one, but the truth is it can be quite hard to judge and actually find demand for your skill if it's really, really unique. Gig work, because anybody can do it starting today with nothing more than a bike, it's actually not too bad, but I would probably just use it as a stepping stone and I wouldn't stay in it too long term. And the one I probably wouldn't recommend is actually part-time jobs. You're getting paid minimum wage, it's not really very scalable, and they're actually quite hard to find sometimes as well. So I'll put that graphic back on screen now. Pause the video if you want and take a screenshot. Try one of these for a week and I promise you'll be ahead of 90% of people who are about to go and watch another video about how to make money online. Let me know below the weirdest way that you've made money. I'll feature the best ones in an upcoming video. And if you have any questions, let me know, because I have personal experience with all of these strategies. While you're down there, drop me a like and a sub. And if one actually works out for you, come back and let me know. I love to see people making money. For now, peace out.